Shabbat Shalom. This week's Parsha is called Pekudei. Now, if we just read it verse by verse, it wouldn't be very exciting unless you happen to be an architect or a builder, because it is the description in great detail of the final steps taken by the Israelites to complete what was called the wandering sanctuary, or the Mishkan, which was in the desert. Wandering, why? Because it's portable is the better word, because sometimes they moved from place to place. They had to be able to take it apart, put it back together, transport it. This particular description of the construction is very similar to what we read a number of weeks ago, the description of how it was to be constructed. So the rabbis asked the question, why would the Torah dedicate so many verses to first a description how to build it, and then actually the building? Why not just have the description and say, and they did it, and then we can move on to some more important issues? They chose rather to review exactly how it was done. So the rabbis asked that question, why? There must be a purpose to it. And here's what they suggest. Planning is very important. We need to plan. If we don't plan, things don't happen. But planning must also be connected with doing. You have to actually carry it out. You have to accomplish it. And there are certain problems that happen between the connection of planning and doing. First of all, you could have an architect, an idea of what you want to build, and a dream. But sometimes, and I've been told this by builders, they'll look at what the architect has designed and they'll say, it's a great idea, but we actually can't do that in reality. It doesn't work. So there has to be a connection. And of course, without the dream, you can never have the reality. But if the reality and the dream are connected, then what you create doesn't actually work within the context of reality. So the Torah is telling us you have to have both. You have to have dreamers, and then you have to have people who make it happen. And you have to work hand in hand in order to accomplish the goal. If you don't, then it will never get built, or what gets built doesn't actually work. And that's true not just about a building. It's true about our lives, our families, our community. We have to dream about what we want it to be, and then we have to make it happen. We have to carry it out. And that's hard work. That's why the Torah repeats it. The architecture, the dream, that was hard work. But actually doing it, that's also very hard. And so we have the details of how they accomplished it. The accomplishment was so incredible that what we have today in our synagogue, our Beit Knesset, is a reflection of what they dreamed of and what they created thousands of years ago in the desert. That was a place that would have a sense of the holy. Not the physical presence of God, because God's not physical, but rather a sense of God's presence. And then they went into the land of Israel, and from that they developed the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, which gave the people a center, and again, created a place of gathering for purposes that were holy to the community. And when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, then the rabbis created the idea called the Beit Knesset, the house of assembly. What did they all have in common? They had in common that original dream. In the center of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, they put the ark, and inside the ark, they put the Ten Commandments, the tablets of the Ten Commandments. That was the same that was true in the Beit HaMikdash, and it's the same that's true today in our Beit Knesset. We know what the centerpiece of a Beit Knesset is. It's the Holy Ark, it's the Aron HaKodesh, with the Torahs in it. Thousands of years ago, it was the Shnei Luchot HaBrit, the covenant, the two tablets of the covenant, 10 Commandments. So that dream, that architectural idea that God communicated to Moses, and that Moses gave to the builders of Israel, the artisans, the skilled people to create, because the dream and the reality came together, and the dreamers and the builders came together, they created an institution, they created a building that reflected an idea that is still the centerpiece of Jewish life to this very day. And I believe that it's been the synagogue, the Beit Knesset, that has kept the Jewish people together and has kept the Torah as the center of our ethic and the center of our concern as a community. So when we dream and we also act upon the dream, we can create things that are long-lasting, we can build for that future within our lives, within our families, within our communities, and within our institutions. We end Pekudei, it's the end of the book of Exodus, and the Jewish people are ready now for their trip through the wilderness, eventually to get to the land of Israel. In the weeks ahead, we will see stories that will indicate why a delay of 40 years occurred. But as of now, the community is complete. There is the Mishkan in the center of the community. There are the judges, the courts. There are the Kohanim and the Leviim. There are the tribes of Israel, all working in concert now to create what became the Jewish community. Shabbat Shalom.